Alrighty, what's up everyone? Jonathan here with Boston Collectors, and I got this huge ass box. Excuse the language. I originally just wanted fan, but again, shout out to Mike. He was selling this piece and I figured, why not get the whole thing? You can't exactly just send fan without this, so it's whatever. I'll pay for the extra figure. Although I'm 90% sure I will not be posing this piece here. So this is a huge ass box. I don't think I own a box like this wide, unless actually it could be Darth Maul. It's probably the Solo Maul, I think. It's about this wide, but it's a bit heavier than this one. But for this not to be a DX, it's very, very huge, but rightfully so. It's a 2-pack. I think this is also the very first 2-pack that I've ever owned. So I really wanted fan. I don't think he was around, or I wasn't looking for fan at the time because, again, my collection, for those of you who are new to the channel, I was way into anti-heroes and villains, and Ben did not fit that in my collection. So going back and really wanting Finn to be a Jedi and hoping that the sequel trilogies went more towards him becoming a Jedi, and without getting into it, I really wanted to see more from his character. So jumping into the box, we have MMS 346, Fan and the First Order Riot Control Stormtrooper. So for those of you that don't know, this is the guy that goes Raider! And, they sort of, they duel it out. So we have the Star Wars engraved logo there. We have the Movie Masterpiece logo, the Hot Toys logo. Nothing really going on the sides there. I want to also be very careful with this thing since it's so big. Honestly, it's totally fine. You have shelf wear because of someone owning the piece previously. I don't care about that. As long as it's shipped properly and is shipped and packaged nicely, which this really was. So I'm not tripping about that. We have the Movie Masterpiece series there. The MMS number, all of that good stuff here. Let's go ahead, flip this bad boy over, and let's jump into the damn box because I'm excited. I don't know. Did you all pass up on this piece? Did you get it? Do you regret not getting it? Are you trying to sell it off? Now look at that. This is actually the figure. I don't think that they've ever gone and said, we're just going to pull something off of Lucasfilms and just use an image that they have. It's really cool that they actually use the figures to pull off these images. But, I mean, it's the fight scene. It's nothing too extravagant here. Again, I'm a big fan of the gradient. I like the mountains and everything going on in the back. This is a cool picture. It's cool. I like it. Alrighty, and then the first thing we're met with is the instruction manuals. Again, Mike, he read. I don't know about y'all. Anybody out there don't read these? Am I alone? I'd like to know. We're going to go ahead and put these off to the side and check in on those later. We also have the accessory tray. We'll get into all of those doodads in a bit. Super quick. I really wanted to buy these individually in the bag from someone on eBay because I just really like those thermal detonators. And I was thinking far in advance for my 501st. So there's nothing else on top. Let's go ahead and get these dudes out of the clamshell and get to the video. Ooh, 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 ooh. Wow, these dudes looking fire. I like this, man. Look at this. This gun right here. Oh my god. That thing is sick. Here, we're supposed to be doing the figures, right? Oops. There you go. That gun is sick, though. I like that. All right, so Fan. Here we go. Oh, look at that jacket. We don't have the plastic on the face of this, but it's far down enough, in my opinion, where it's not going to be striking the plastic. So I'm actually fine with that. And we have the cushion there on the tip. I'm actually fine with that for this one. Oh man, that looks so good. Look at this. Look, 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 look. Oh, we've got that jacket there, which, you know, Poe let him have it. So technically now it's his jacket. So we're not going to say Poe Dameron's jacket, but we know who had it originally. Oh man, this thing is sick. Look at them shoes. What are those? Oh, this is fire. I like this. Look at the wear and tear on the back there. Oh, that's so good. This is why we're here. This is why he's here in my collection, at least. We'll go ahead and give the Stormtrooper a look over. If I use this piece, I'll probably just pop off the helmet. Maybe have him hold it or something. Maybe have it knocked over near his person. But like I said, I'm not going to be using this piece. Just because I don't really want to... that's very loose. People are selling these like candy, so I'm pretty sure it'll be easy to find some feet for that. Yep. Well, I mean, it's a good thing that I'm not going to be using it. Again, like, I think it's cool, though. Don't get me wrong. The figure, like, I really like the overall look of this trooper, but I don't have a collection where I have other First Order troopers. And I know a lot of people don't like the style of the helmet, but I do. I'm a fan of the helmet. I like the overall aesthetic. I do wish that they were still clones, though, but I'm not mad at that suit. And to me, like, look at this. Look at that. We've got pleather in there. I wonder if I'm going to have to be worried about that later on. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fan of the cleaner look personally, but it could just be me. I don't know. Let me know. What do you all think? Then we got that big ass shield. I guess he can look through that. That's dope. Oh, we've got the straps there too. Well, that's cool. I like that. Dang. Then we got the blaster. Oh, we got a moving part. Wait. I think I don't want to break it. I almost want to say that that can come down, but I'm not going to attempt it. See, look. So this come out. All right, all right, Mike, I'll read the instructions on that. That's really cool though. I like that. All right, so let's get into the we're not supposed to be looking at all of that yet. Figure overview. Oh, there's the bag. Sick. Let's get into the piece and let's get this show on the road. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start things off with the Stormtrooper gear first. Again, we've seen this before in the opening, at least. We've got the straps here. We've got the Velcro, the protective layer there so that it doesn't scuff the figure. Then you wrap these around the arm like so. You're good to go. If you want them in more of a defensive stand, I do like that little visor there. I think that's pretty sick. Really nice. We also have the baton here. I'm probably going to actually have to read the instructions on this because I do see some twisty, turny situations here, and I don't want to break it, but it's in great condition. Nice shape. It looks good. Feels good. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Nothing too heavy, but it doesn't feel like plastic, you know? We've also got their blaster here. Again, we're going to probably have to read the instructions because this is something I started fiddling with too early. I do like that the trigger is pronounced on that, though. I like that. This looks really good. We also have some hands here. We've got the trigger hand. We've got more of the halt, who goes there hand, if you will. We've also got another trigger hand that goes for the right. Again, fists. See, I'm seeing more fists in these. I feel like in the older ones than the newer ones. Please don't stop giving us fists. And then it looks like we have, look like maybe he's holding something. I don't know. These look like holding hands, as if it were like a strap or something that go on his weapons, and he's just sort of holding it. Similar to what the Death Troopers have, but yeah, I'll have to look into what these might be for. Alrighty, and next up we have a couple additional pieces here. I'm not really sure what this is for. We can't seem to get it to zoom in. It's that tiny, but yeah, I'm going to have to look into what that's for, but it could be used for the baton. Second, these things right here are sick. I like these. Look at that. These things are so cool. Now, I'm thinking about kit bashing my Ray, and I feel like if I can find another pair of these, oh my goodness, I'd be set. We also have some pegs. Again, I've never broken pegs before, but the fact that they give us these in case we do, that's a huge plus in my book. Thank you. Moving on over to Finn's weaponry. Look at this thing. It's so hard to say that I want to pose him with this or the saber because this thing is a beast. I love the weathering on it, and again, this also has some nice weight to it as well. Look at that. Look at that beautiful golden rusted look going on there. This thing is so cool. I don't know what this is, but it adds so much more to the weapon. I don't think there are any movable parts on it from what I can gather here, but geez, this thing is sick. We've all seen this thing before. Look at that. That looks nice. It's nothing different. If anything, it's like a slight difference in just how they chose to build it, because it's got like this interesting black thing, or like not black, but space metal light coloring going on there, which I find that to be a little interesting. But yeah, other than that, like we've never seen this before, right? We've also got the light up arm here, which we did actually get to see him ignite this, so I'm glad that they gave it to us. Looks good. I wish they would have went a bit more in depth there with the veins, but I understand, I guess, not going too wild with it, but looks good. Speaking of hands, we've got some here. This is what I mean in terms of going a bit more in depth with the veins. Like, they're a lot more pronounced here than they are on the actual arm. So we have the lightsaber wielding hand. Again, fists, huge plus in my book. Please give us more of these. Please and thank you. Now we also have this hand for the rifle. They look like they kind of slow down with the veins a bit there, but I guess if you're squeezing it, I don't know. Maybe. And then we have the, I want to say, is that the saber wielding hand for the left hand too? Yeah, it is. Nice. We've got some batteries for the saber wielding hand. We've got some pegs in case we bust them up. We've also got instructions. So we have instructions for both Van and the First Order Riot Control Stormtroopers. So good to have one for both. We also have the bag. Now, I want to say that I might have him posed with this just because I really love the look of this bag. You know, just, I'm going to go and just blow up some stuff. You know, I'll be back. BRB fam. This thing is sick. I like this. Now, the cool thing about the bombs here. So I want to say there's one in here that's different from the rest. This one. I think this one is armed. Now, the reason I say that is because the center of it isn't extracted. It's pushed in. As you can see. Versus this one. There you go. This one is extracted, and the bottoms look different. I would have loved half and half personally, but, you know, we all can't get what we want, right? But I do love the look of these things. They're so cool. So cool. Alrighty, so here we have John Boyega's portrait. The likeness I would probably say is a good 8 out of 10. It's not really there for me, but by looking at this portrait, you can tell that it's John Boyega. Now, in The Force Awakens, John Boyega, he sort of had this pudginess to his face. In this particular figure, he's very lean. And I'm not really sure where that came from. I think Hot Toys, they kind of work with more, they work on perfection versus the imperfections, I feel, of the actors. Now, I think the one character in my collection that I feel like they got the imperfections correct would have to be Adam Driver. He has sort of a pronounced jaw misalignment going on. John Boyega has it very slightly, and you don't see it in this portrait. However, looking at the side-by-side comparison here, you can see that, you know, John Boyega, he was a bit pudgier. His hairline wasn't as straight. His jawline is sort of misaligned ever so slightly. And I went back to look at other images on the net. I can go ahead and post on the screen here. Just in case, you know, sometimes, you know, when we get into character or when we're, you know, posing, we kind of, you know, if you were to take a selfie, you kind of, you know, you hold yourself a little differently, right? So I chose to do my homework a bit and maybe let's see other images outside of Star Wars. His jawline is slightly, it's slight. It's not like, you know, overbearing, but it's not shown here on the figure. Now, overall, do I feel like they got the texture and everything right? The likeness, yeah, I think they did okay. The hair looks good. Again, I just wish the hairline was, you know, I like the likeness. I mean, the hairline, I'm not too upset at, you know. Maybe if the front part of his hair were brushed down, I get it. I'm not upset at that, but I would have wanted his face to be a bit pudgier, and I would have wanted to see his jaw slightly misaligned for better likeness. Now, if you go ahead and turn on the turntable here, you can sort of see the likeness in John Boyega's, in the hairline and everything on the side. The hair texture looks good. The camera's starting to zoom in on the jacket because it's taking up the majority of the shot, but I think they did all right. You know, again, it's not perfect. Like, I felt like the imperfections and them adding it would have made it perfect, and they chose not to. So I guess at that point, do we blame them? Do we request for perfection? I feel like people would have freaked out if they chose to do that for Adam Driver. And from what I can see, no one really said anything about the portrait here for Fan. Now, again, the rest of it, his features, his facial features, it's him. It's just, again, I felt like they could have done a little bit better. I do feel like they tried to hide the line in his hair there. Slight smudge. They tried to hide it though. I'll give them an E for effort. But you can sort of see in the midsection there in the hair where they tried. But again, overall, 8 out of 10. I would like to know what you all think. Do you feel like they should consider sculpting for imperfection, or do you feel like a little bit of perfection is fine? I'm curious personally. All right, so there isn't really much to write home about in terms of the helmet here. You don't get a face sculpt with this guy, so don't really go looking for that. I love the aesthetic of this particular Stormtrooper. The First Order, everything looks great in my opinion. I like the, I want to say that might be a breathing sort of, the silver part there in the helmet might allow for better breathing, or I'm not sure, but I like that. It sort of adds a bit of dimension to the helmet out of the black and, you know, the white sort of curvature going on there. Sort of like it molds with it, but then it also like helps the helmet to pop. If we turn on the turntable here, again, I love the gloss on the visor. Like they really try to tie in the rest of the helmet by like putting small little Star Wars details in it. Let's sort of center that a little bit better. Apologies. I like it. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of the First Order, but I mean, I'm with them to a certain extent. I like the clones personally, but when it comes to the aesthetic and the new look to to the Stormtrooper gear. I definitely love the appeal of this, but overall, I mean, there isn't really much to talk about here. It's a very clean looking helmet. Very nice. First Order. Alrighty, so here we have Fan FN2187. Again, that jacket, man, just whoo-wee. You can tell a lot of love went into tailoring this jacket. There's so much character. Look at the smudges on the back there, the wrinkles, and the pants are great. You know, the pants, I feel like the standout pieces on this would definitely be the shirt. It's got this stretchy, sort of elastic feel. Kind of like if you're familiar with I believe the company's name, Armor. It's got this stretchy sort of elastic type feel as if you're going to run. It's got that going on. The jacket, I'm talking like, I hope this thing doesn't flake. It feels like real leather, although it's pleather. Feels great. Again, a lot of care went into creating what was Poe Dameron's jacket. Just really, really nice work. The shoes, however, it's more on the spectrum of what are those? Because I mean they work, right? It's brown, you know, the jacket's brown, and it pulls it all together. But I mean, I guess the shoes are pretty similar to what he wore in the film, right? I'm not sure, but I definitely know the pants, the shirt, and the jacket are pretty spot on in my opinion. Now, overall, the figure feels great. However, the right ankle feels rather loose to me, which is why I chose to pose him by distributing more of the weight on the left foot, as you can see here, and trying to keep a bit of the weight off of the right foot, but still allowing him to kind of balance himself, if you will. Sort of like in a, you know, he's about to hit a corner sort of ordeal and, you know, take out some fools or whatever. But I mean, overall, the figure feels great. A lot of the pieces, like the shoulder and the arms and the elbow joints, they feel really nice and tight. The neck feels a bit stiff in my opinion, but like having him sort of look up and look down is a bit of a pain. But outside of that, like the rest of the figure feels great. So let's go ahead and jump on into the Stormtrooper. Alrighty, so here we have the Riot Trooper. I'm a big fan again of the overall aesthetic of the First Order troopers. I like the modernized aesthetic. I like the high polish. I like the leather there in the thigh region. I don't know. Maybe it's I feel like I don't want to say gravitate more towards this one because I also like the clones, but I don't know, maybe it's a nostalgia thing for some people and seeing the older armor, maybe that's better. I don't know, but me personally, I like the aesthetic of the First Order. Now, with this particular piece, again, as you all saw earlier, that left ankle, I believe it's the left on this one. It doesn't feel all that great, but it's very easy. People are parting out First Order troopers left and right. So it'll be very easy for me to find some boots for this guy. However, I'm 95% sure I'm not going to be posing this guy in my DTOF. He'll be the only Stormtrooper, the First Order Stormtrooper in my collection. And if I did anything with this piece, I would probably just pop the helmet off and maybe have Finn holding it or something. But I'm probably not going to pose him. However, for you all, you know, because to tie it all together, I'll go ahead and do some poses for you all. I don't like doing scenes from the movies, although, yeah, it's cool, but I like to kind of, you know, change it up a little bit and do my own thing. So maybe we'll have Finn swapped out with, I don't know, we'll see. But back to the First Order Trooper here. The rest of the joints, they feel very, very tight, but I feel like it's because the suit is sort of hindering posability. I noticed that the arms don't go all the way up, and if you try to, I want to say that the Trooper might have a butterfly joint, but again, the suit is so tight on this guy that I can't really tell. The helmet there is on a ball joint, so if you do want to pick this guy up and maybe just have one of your favorite characters holding the helmet, you actually can do that. But I do like the weaponry that come with them. The shield looks great. I like the weapons. The suit's just a little too tight for me, but hey, that's just me. I heard bad things about the Sith Trooper. I'd imagine that sort of translate to this guy since they're kind of one and the same. So I don't own a Sith Trooper, but I've heard very bad things. Now, one thing that I do want to say, let's say you're not looking to really look for parts for your First Order Trooper. Maybe you're having issues similar to me. Really, all you have to do is take this particular part of the figure and pull it down and sort of have it balance where the issue is. So again, if I recall correctly, it's on that shoe. Now, because I brought that armor down, it's sort of locking it in place. Not necessarily locking it in place, but the friction due to bringing it down is sort of forcing this figure to stand up properly. So if you're having that issue, do consider that. Alrighty, so here we have both Finn and the Stormtrooper. Rather than, try to do a closing with them separately, I chose to put them up here together, even though I'm not going to be using the Stormtrooper. It's just, I don't have enough space to throw this guy anywhere, unless, of course, if I decided to pose anything with this trooper, I would probably take off that Stormtrooper helmet and probably have Finn sort of holding it alongside him as if he just destroyed a guy or whatever. But other than that, I'm not putting this trooper in my DTOF anytime soon and probably never. Now, I apologize for the whole round one sort of look here, but let's go ahead and turn on the table. So first things first, again, I went through at least 4 different poses for this. In terms of overall throughout the entirety of the video, I went through 4 poses. So to end it off, I kind of wanted this whole super cool ordeal where they both look ready to go, and it feels a little tense to me. Now, over time, as I continue to sort of handle the figures, these are relatively old, right? So some of the joints are rather loose. I don't think that was from the previous seller. It's not on you this time, Mike. It's not on you. So I have to be very picky about how I choose Finn, because moving forward, as we all know, the more we pose and the more we sort of change out a lot of those pieces, things start to get a little wonky. And if it's at that point right now, it could definitely get a bit worse. So first things first, I do want to point out the something that I learned while goofing around with the figure. This gun on the Stormtrooper here is actually magnetized. That is awesome. We need that engineering with the clone troopers or with any other troopers that, for example, Rex, who don't have the holsters. Well, actually, Rex, I believe Rex or am I thinking about Cody? I'm pretty sure I'm thinking about Cody. Cody doesn't come with the holsters, but he come with the dual pistols. And this is something I pointed out in that video. Like, I wish there were sort of like magnetized portions on the belt at least. I don't know, but I pointed that out because it actually exists, and I thought that that was awesome. So moving on over to Finn again, the posing with him, a little wonky, but overall I had a great time posing the figure. I didn't notice any wiring in the coat or in the jacket there, but you can sort of make it appear dynamic by sort of adjusting the upper portion of that jacket to make it appear as if it's sort of flapping in the wind, if you will. Now, the gun with Finn is probably one of the coolest pieces of weapons that I've seen, period. I've not seen anything as cool as this. I want to say that this is a rifle. I'm not really well versed in a lot of the, like, I would just call that a baton that the trooper's holding, but I know that it's a very specific baton. But so bear with me if you're knowledgeable about these things and it's just like at the top of your brain just to be like, oh, that's the X. Feel free to let me know in the comment section. So all in all, again, I wanted I bought the 2-pack because of Finn. If I had my way, I wouldn't have. If this were available at the time, if I were collecting, I definitely wouldn't have picked this up. I would have just wanted Finn. And I feel like Finn, I really hope that they end up going back and doing something with his character, because I feel like he has a story that that needs to be told. That would be super, super cool. So to kind of go back over the pros and the cons of the piece, starting with the cons, again, I feel like the imperfections in his face sculpt, just, you know, that they should have kept it. They went for more perfection than imperfections. And, you know, the sculpt is about, it's almost there. I got to give it to him. It's almost there. It's just not there. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell that that's supposed to be John Boyega, but it's a perfected John Boyega, if you will. Now, everything else that come with this particular piece, I think, is really awesome. I love the bag. I love the thermal detonators and everything else that come with it. I'm glad that we get the light up arm. The rifle, again, super awesome, and the standout piece on him being that jacket. You can't deny that jacket, man. You really, really can't. So I hope that this video was somewhat helpful to you all. I know it's a very, very old figure. I still like Finn, so maybe you're looking for Finn. I don't know. Maybe you're thinking about selling him, and maybe this is helping you to keep him. I don't know. Either way, I hope this video was somewhat helpful to you all. So I actually have a lot of figures coming in next week. I've got Kylo, the Force Awakens Kylo, which I'm going to be able to finish that evolution. I've got my 501st clones coming in. I bought 2. I almost bought 3, but I went ahead and got 2. And I also have, my art print. Yeah, I got a lot to, catch you guys up on. So we'll definitely do that. Don't forget to follow us over on socials, Instagram, YouTube. I'm updating TikTok, with just like videos of posing, small little tips here and there. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, feel free to check us out over there. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. This is Jonathan with Boston Collectors. We'll catch you on the flippity flop.